Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a three-year update on my Ikea cabinet terrarium. I built this puppy a little over 3 years ago, almost 3.5 years ago actually. I have done updates on this thing over the years, so I'll definitely make a playlist and put that down in the description if you want to see my process building this, keeping this over the last over 3 years now. Some of the maintenance I do for it, things like that. To recap a few of the big points I know I've hit over the years. There we go. I do have a few like building regrets, namely on this side of the terrarium. I made it kind of like rocky, bumpy looking, and I don't like how it doesn't really match that side. I think it looks really good. I like the look of this side more than the flat side over there. But a problem I have with the big puffy jut outs I did is it shades plants below it. Now it's pretty grown in, but for a long time I did have a really hard time getting the plants down here to take off and grow. It took a lot of teeny tiny little adjustments and like up close care over the last little while to get this side to grow in so nicely, especially because the jut outs in combination with these larger plants up at the top just give a lot of shade down there. And this year is the first year I'm really regretting doing that just flat. I kind of wish I would have brought this jut out looking thing along here to help hold a little more moss, because I do think I just can't get enough moss to stick on that wall for it to stay wet enough. Whereas on this side, I really could pack it onto the ledges here, over there, and in that corner to help provide more moisture. So that's a really big mistake I made in the design of this thing. Other than that though, I do really like the way it looks. Especially this side of the terrarium looks great. Definitely need to do some maintenance up there. Should I just do that right now? Yeah. I've been meaning to cut these vines back because they're just getting out of hand and really blocking the plants below. So let's just get it done so that you guys could have a better view of what's really going on in here. Okay, I think that's probably good enough. Overgrown. I also really hate the way I did the black paint on the glass because it peeled. I should have painted the outside of the glass, not the side that I put the spray foam on. So if you're considering doing one of these and you want to paint the side, do the opposite side of the spray foam. Okay, don't spray underneath the spray foam, the expanding foam, because it will, as it expands, it will pull the paint up off of the glass and it looks pretty ugly. Like, I really regret that. I have two main updates with this thing. Biggest update is I am considering taking this down. And by taking this down, I mean removing all of the plants, scraping out the foam and starting over. I want to fix that paint issue. It really bothers me, even though it's like such a non-issue in the scheme of things. It's just such an eyesore to me, and I walk into this room, that's the first thing I look at. I mean, fortunately I have a golden pothos back here to help hide it, but that is just something that's been bothering me for a while. I want to fix the wall issue. Yeah, just really start over with it. For a minute there, I thought I accidentally killed all of my isopods because I do have dairy cow isopods living in here. I thought all the isopods died because I wasn't seeing them for a while. And what I thought happened was I didn't clean off the tip of the cucumber I fed them. So I was like, oh no, there's probably pesticides on that. And then it probably killed them, but they're actually still alive and well in there. So fortunately that's not an issue anymore. But yeah, I do just really want to reconfigure like the landscape in there. At the end of the day is what it is. Biggest, most annoying update since last year is it is now leaking, which is another huge reason I want to take it apart and start over so I can fill in the cracks of the terrarium a lot better so it would hold moisture better. It looks like dog pee. It is not dog pee. It's water that has leaked, seeped through the substrate and escaped somewhere down there. It does it on both sides, and it's not even an everyday thing, and it's not even an every single time I water thing. For whatever reason, sometimes maybe it has to do with the temperature in the air or like temperature fluctuations or what. Sometimes I wake up and there's just water all over the floor, which is the case here. there. I'm gonna clean that up right now. It's like rusty nutrient water. It's not a huge deal because there's not always as much water as what you just saw, but I would say maybe twice a week I come out here and there's water pooled at one of these front feet. It doesn't even usually happen on both sides, but it is kind of annoying, and where I'm already considering taking it apart, that is definitely something I'll be paying very close attention to if when I do end up rebuilding this. I'll just seal it so much better. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this here to help absorb any of the water there. A change I've made this last year that I really, really love is I decided to propagate my Markgravia syntenacii, which is this plant here, here. I mean, it's kind of growing everywhere, and this plant grows so well in here. I love the way it looks, and once I get around to rebuilding and replanting this thing, I want to allow this to take over majority of the terrarium, I think, and then just maybe have a few statement plants. So I do think that was a mess up on my part, was putting so many like larger leafed, aggressive growing plants that can really take off in humidity with good light sources. I just think I would prefer the look of this had I stuck to plants like the Markgravia that sits very flush to the back, to the substrate on the back of the terrarium. And it really would have opened up this central area for light to be able to get down to the bottom. So again, if you're debating on doing one of these, keep that in mind as you're placing plants. I thought I kept it in mind as I was placing things, but then, you know, like things grow differently than you expect they will. We can't always control the way our plants grow. So anyway, I do really like the addition of the Markgravia. I think that looks great. I'm gonna cut a little more of this. I think like, what the heck? There we go. Okay, that's so much better. As far as maintenance of this thing goes, I know I touched a lot more on like my routine last year, so I'm not gonna get into that too much, but definitely the most frequent 3 things I'm doing for the terrarium are spraying it down. So I'm gonna spray it down real quick while we're here, why not? How I'll spray this is I really focus it at the top of the terrarium and let it trickle down so that it can kind of like rainstorm down there maybe. I either use diluted fish tank water or a liquid plant food. My liquid plant food of choice is Liquid Earth, and I just mix it up in here, spray it in to feed the planties, and yeah, it'll trickle down. Keeps humidity really well. My next most frequent task is wiping down the insides of these doors. They just get so humid. Of course, there's a lot of condensation and then the water drips down, and it can actually make it kind of hard to see in the terrarium. If I haven't wiped it down in a minute, I'm not going to really be enjoying the look of the terrarium unless I open the doors, just because it can, not always, but especially freshly after I've sprayed it, it can be really hard to see through the glass into there just for humidity purposes. And then the third thing I'm doing most often is wiping up those water spots, which is really unfortunate because I thought that I sealed it so well. I put a lot of effort into sealing it, and I didn't have any dripping issue. I didn't have any leaking issues until like maybe the last 6 months or so. Suddenly it's leaking everywhere, which is really unfortunate. I really thought that, like, I was proud of myself because I thought I did such a good job with that, making sure that it didn't leak. And I don't know, I guess I did for 2 years. I did it well enough for a solid 2 years, leak-free. But yeah, I do really enjoy this thing. It's so fun. It's been really fun to see it grow in. And this is kind of an addition to my plant hobby that is a little outside of like regular just watering, spraying down plant care. I can do a lot more fun things with this thing and tinker around with it more. Over the last year, whatever, I've been adding little plants to new spots or moving plants to different spots to see if I can get them to grow any better than they have thus far. So here's hoping that some of these little syngonium take off over here. It's kind of fun to mess around with and play around with and take cuttings from, you know. Let me cut that back now. Wow. This is what is this? Burl Marx Fantasy, Philodendron Burl Marx Fantasy. I love this plant. It's so pretty. I'm actually just gonna cut some of these nodes apart real quick and pop them in there in new places to hopefully help fill it in a little. I'm gonna put them on this side, I think. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw them in a few places, try and like wrap it up in the moss so that as they root, it'll hold itself in place. And I'm gonna put a few of them up the side here to hopefully end up with one in a position that it will work out, that it can live long term. That'd be cool. Let's see. Added a few of them in. Hopefully that will help fill it in a little bit on that side. But you see what I mean? This side just looks so much more full and like clustered, and this is so barren. I don't love how uneven it looks. I don't need it to be symmetrical, but I need it at least to look even across both sides. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and show you the plants I have growing in here that I feel like were worth growing in here, that are either growing really, really well, a lot better than they did just out in my house environment, or that I feel look really awesome inside the terrarium. I will say I did have quite the cluster of Selaginella uncellata, I think it is. It's the rainbow peacock fern moss thingy. This stuff, it was really taking over this corner, and then out of nowhere it all just kind of died back, and it seems like this is all I really have now. And I did try to spread it around a little bit to no avail. It just has never really come back. So that was kind of weird how it did so well for the first maybe year or so, and then just kind of died back. And now it's still here obviously, but it's just barely clinging to life. Example of the Markgravia just really doing its thing, looking amazing in here. I love having this Ardisia turtle back in here. The coloration is amazing, and this is a plant I wouldn't be able to keep, I don't think I'd be able to keep in my regular home environment. So having a very humid place like this to be able to grow cool varieties I love this way is really fun. Look back there, like the Markgravia is just going crazy. It looks so cool. I know I was talking about how this is pretty clustered. In this area, I actually really like the way this is actually, I know it looks like a Philodendron brandtianum. It's actually a Soderoy, the like mini variety, I forget what it's called, but I really like the way this has grown in. It's stayed very compact, and it's even gotten more full up here. And yes, it's a little annoying to have to chop it back every so often, but I do really enjoy the way this one looks. Okay, pull these out, or I guess just move them off to the side there. Another really fun humidity loving variety I wouldn't be able to grow otherwise is this ficus. Oh crap, what's it called? I just had the name of it in my head and now I totally spaced. It's a variety of ficus, and it's really, really hairy. You can see, look at all of that. That's so cool. It likes a lot of humidity. So yeah, I wouldn't be able to enjoy this if it weren't for this humid terrarium environment. Has grown quite a ways. It ended up dropping a whole bunch of leaves here. Like this used to be full of leaves, and just slowly over time they've dropped, but hey, I'm fine with it because it's coming back, and I would love if this kind of took over more of the terrarium. I really love this Philodendron glorious growing in here. This is just such a pretty plant, and the leaves don't get so big that it overpowers the terrarium too much. It stays really compact, has a nice color that looks good with a lot of these other varieties I'm telling you I really enjoy. So yeah, that's been a really good one in here. Also this begonia, it's either Melena bellata or Feryx, and it's probably Melena bellata. Or no, yeah, I don't know. This does get quite big leaves, but I'm enjoying growing it in here because it's actually growing. I have 2 leaves, they look really healthy. Yeah, I'm not complaining at all. I think it looks really good. It's a really fun, big leaf, like kind of standout variety that I love in a situation like this. This down here is a Piper sylvatica, and even though this does not grow for shit in here, it has stayed like relatively healthy looking. This is the newest leaf it put out, but I think a big reason for this might be because of how much the light was blocked before from all those plants I trim back. You know, that happens every few months that it gets like that, and then I think it just really stunts this thing. But I do really like it stands out so beautifully down there. Same for this Philodendron verrucosum. And I don't know how I'm gonna feel about this plant once it looks like it's taken hold here. Once it takes hold and pops more leaves all up this side, it could be really cool, but it's just kind of a trial and error. You have to let it grow in, do its thing, and see what happens kind of thing. Like, I've just learned I can't really count on anything growing in whatever given way I've imagined in my head. You know, now that I think about it, this is a Philodendron Grazielle, something like that. It has the cute little perfectly heart-shaped leaves. Really, really pretty. I really enjoy this one in here too. This is one of the newer additions. My mom was getting rid of hers and I took it, popped it in here. I think it's doing decently. Like, the leaves stand out and they're really pretty, but they're not like, I just feel like I don't like the look of a lot of plants that are like calling for attention, you know? So I guess examples of plants I don't love growing in here. This one, Begonia negrosensis. Love this variety. It just keeps growing out here. It doesn't really color-wise look very good with everything else I have going on. So yeah, I don't really love having this one. Same for this Begonia picturata. This is another example of one that grew super well for a while and now it just looks weird and I don't know why. This I love. This is a Begonia white princess. Love, looks so good, but the plant grows all the way up here and gets these really big leaves up toward the top, and I don't love this. So I really probably wouldn't put this plant back in here when I go to redo the terrarium. Same for this Monstera adansonii mint. I just don't love it. It just doesn't match the like coloration of these other plants I love in here more. It's just, I don't know, it just doesn't look quite right to me in here. So yeah, I can't really like say too much about the other varieties because a lot of them are just teeny tiny little babies that haven't really even had a chance to grow yet. I think I'll have more opinions on these as they grow in. But for right now, those are the plants I have strong opinions on in my terrarium. So yeah, that's my 3-year update on this and some of my opinions on it. Do I feel like this is a worthy endeavor to take on, a fun project to take on? Absolutely. Is it completely fuss-free? No. In my opinion, it's not something that you can just kind of like set and forget. Of course, like outside of keeping bugs, feeding bugs, and you know, spraying the thing down, turning on the light. There are other tasks I didn't really realize I'd be spending so much time doing on this thing. And yes, I knew like every once in a while I'd have to wipe off the glass, but I'm having to wipe it like probably double as often as I ever expected I would. So it's not a huge thing. It's just like another thing. I personally think it's worth it, especially if you're somebody who likes to be able to keep some exotic varieties that you wouldn't otherwise be able to care for in like regular dry home environments. It's fun to how we just move those Burl Marx fantasies around. It's fun to like experiment that way, move things, see how it'll grow in or if it'll grow in, and then like practice patience and down the line, like see how it turns out. Like, it's fun. That's fun. It's a fun part about it, but it is also a little bit of a tedious part about it because it's frustrating that I haven't really been able to get this side to grow that well. So it's fun, but also frustrating when it just feels like it never works out. If you've built a terrarium, let me know what your experience has been. Please, let's have a group discussion down in the comments so that anyone considering building one of these things can check the comments, see lots of group discussion on our experiences, pros and cons of this thing, regrets in the build process, things we wish we would have done differently. All the information I hope will be down there. Let's help each other out to make more educated, informed decisions about these. Very excited to see what y'all have to say in the comments. So thank you so much. Please thumbs up or thumbs down this video to let me know how you felt about this kind of content topic. That engagement is very, very helpful for me and my channel. So thank you so much. That's going to be it for this one. I will see you next time.